Hi everyone, it's Becky Livingston from Penn Heel Marketing, and today I want to talk about implementing social media for small and new business owners. Why do we need social media as a small business owner? Well, first of all, our customers are online. We know that. There's statistics out there that talk about this. It's the ultimate focus group as well. If we can find our target market, we can ask them questions, get feedback, etc. And it also helps to increase traffic to our website. But how do you succeed? Here are some steps to really consider. First and foremost is knowing your target market. If you don't know who you're selling to and who's most likely to buy your product, where they live, how they talk, what their interests are, you're never going to be able to sell the most and best way that you can. Also, identifying the right platform. Where are your people? Where are they online? What social media platforms are they using? How are they connecting? Do they prefer video, photos, text? What is their preferred method of getting information? Mobile, desktop, all of that kind of stuff. Having a content strategy, meaning what are you going to create that supports your business goals to move your business forward? Creating content that aligns with your business goals is most important, because if you're creating content that doesn't align with your business goals, then what's the point? You're wasting time, effort, and energy. Creating an implementation plan. Now that you know that you need to have content, how are you going to implement the creation, distribution, measurement of that plan? Engaging with followers and using hashtags, and I'll give you some tips about that in a minute. How do you engage with your followers? Do you reply to them? How do you reply to them? Where are you sharing information? What's your brand tone like? And of course, measuring and tracking your engagement, reach, links to your website, etc., to find out which platforms are the most successful for you and if you need to break up with them in the future. So, target markets, let's start with that point. Before picking a social media platform, you must know who your perfect buyer is. I'm not talking about the fringe buyers. I'm talking about those dedicated fans and followers who are going to be the ones to buy your product. How old are they? Where do they live? What kind of social media are they using? What are their interests? The more you know about your people, the more likely you're going to reach them. There's a buyer persona traction kit that I have on my website. You can see the link right there. Feel free to go get that, download it. It's free. Take your time, work your way through it. It's kind of comprehensive. But once you're done with that process, you're going to know who your perfect buyer is. Social media platforms. Yeah, Facebook is humongous. We know that. But not everybody is on Facebook. You have to know who your buyer is. Where do they spend their time? How engaged are they on Facebook? If Facebook is your platform, it's more conversational. Knowing those kinds of things about the platform is going to help you to present your brand in the right way. Instagram, only photos, mobile preferred, very few ability to access that on desktops. Twitter, yeah, that's like a headline reader. It's a news force. It's tremendously high maintenance. It's not something you can post on once a day. It's something you really need to have a plan for. LinkedIn, the B2B platform. This platform is more about business things. You're not going to be talking about family and friends and kids and all that kind of stuff on LinkedIn. Instead, that's the platform you use to become a thought leader in what you do. Pinterest is another visual platform, but the benefit of Pinterest over Instagram is everything that you post can link back to something on your website, unlike Instagram, where you have really just one main link to your website. For example, in our case, we use a link to our blog because that's where most of our content sits. You can find some other social media demographics on Sprout Social. There's a link right there at the bottom of that slide. Here are some professional posting tips. Before you post, ask yourself, is your content visually appealing? And will your customers find it interesting? Reply to comments and questions on social media. I'm not talking about doing that once a month. You should be monitoring that on a almost daily or weekly basis, depending on which platforms you're using. Analyzing your posts to see how you can improve your content in the future. Which posts are people reacting to, sharing, commenting, liking, all of that stuff. The more things that you do that your audience likes, the more likely you're going to start to see engagement with your brand. And using hashtags that are specific to your niche. Now, this is a little bit tricky for most people because they don't really understand how hashtags work. So let's talk about that for a minute. I love this website called Hashtagify Me. It is a great tool that allows you to find current hashtags related to just about any topic. If people are talking about it, who your influencers are, it's a great platform. Check it out. And a hashtag basically is a word or a phrase that corresponds to a stream of conversation. So, for example, here's a tweet: cried like a baby during This Is Us season finale. This Is Us is the hashtag, it's the show, it's the trend, it's what the topic most people are talking about. Here's another example: best tax tips for construction company pros in New Jersey. I'm using a few hashtags there because I want to track I want to provide tax tips for construction companies. Construction is my audience, and in New Jersey preferably because maybe my CPA firm is in New Jersey. Here's another one: how to implement a social media plan for small biz. Small biz is a current trending hashtag. Social media plan is what I'm providing. I could have hashtagged just social media. That's a much more broad term to track, but there's a lot of different ways that you can use hashtags. Look up Hashtagify Me, see if you've got trends on there that you can follow or leverage. If you're going to use a new hashtag for something in your business or you think it's new, look it up first to make sure there's no conversation happening around it. And then there's some additional tips there you can see in the power of hashtags and how to use them on our blog. Now that you know about hashtags, let's talk about content. There's a lot of different kinds of content out there. Testimonials, reminders, quotes, giveaways, holiday-related tips, blog posts, product highlights, tips and tricks. There's all kinds of things out there. What you need to be thinking about is what is right for your audience. How will they respond to it? Do they like the kind of content that you're sharing? What addresses their pain points at the time that they need the information? Those are the kinds of things you want to look at. Announcements are really popular on platforms like Facebook, possibly LinkedIn, like promotions and things like that. But if we're doing something about charity work or events that you're doing, that's also very popular on just about any platform. If we're talking about Instagram and Pinterest, Instagram is much better for culture, showing the things that are going on in your environment and that kind of stuff. Great types of content here. Choose how you're going to distribute that content, whether it's going to be video, written, podcast, slides, audio, if you're going to present it. All of these things can be done in just about any type of format. So what do you need to create for the platforms and how often do you need to share it? Facebook is a low volume, high value network. You don't need to post a ton of things. And one of the tips that I've seen is 5 to 15 times per week. 15 times per week sounds like a lot to me, but at least 5 times a week if you're a business. Because remember, on Facebook, only 5% of your audience can generally get any of your posts organically on any given day. So let's say you have 100 people that are following you, only 5 of those people on any given day will get your post. So when you think about posting content on just about any platform, you can do it more than one time. Just don't do it daily, one after the other. Spread things out. That way you can capture your audience at different times throughout the month. Twitter's a high volume, low value network in the sense that sharing on this network is very high maintenance. It's very fast paced. Conversations are happening all the time. Posting on this platform 3 to 15 times per week. I do about 7 to 10 times per day, only because my audience is national and I'm trying to reach the time zones all across the country. So I'm taking a look at that platform. I happen to love Twitter, so I spend a lot of time on that platform. Think about where your people are. Are they going to be using this platform? And do you need to have the time, effort, and energy to spend to work with Twitter? Instagram is a high volume, medium value network, and avoid posting too frequently, about 1 to 2 times per day, 4 to 7 times per week. This is a photography based platform. You can also do some videos on this platform. It's a great platform to demonstrate culture and things like inspiration and quotes and tips and things like that, but it's not something where you would share a big piece of content because it is a photographic platform. LinkedIn is a low volume, high value network, meaning you don't have to spend a lot of time out there, but what you do spend time doing is cultivating your connections and making sure that you're getting a lot of value out of your network. Just don't post your resume out there and hope it sticks. Make sure your content doesn't dominate the feed, meaning don't post so many times per day that people just see you one right after the other. But be sure you're sharing content about your business and interesting facts, stats, tips, those kinds of things about your industry because it makes you look like a thought leader and person who's very knowledgeable about your topics. In this case, we talk about posting 3 to 5 times per week. Pinterest is a high volume, high value network, and the reason is it has a lot of traction, but it also provides you accessibility to link to your website. So if you want to use pins to get found in the high volume of content, let's say, for example, you release an ebook and you do a great image that's associated with the ebook, that ebook then can link back to your landing page where people can download the ebook. It's a great platform for engagement. It's a great platform for sharing. It's also really good for getting creative with your pictures and infographics and things like that. A lot of different kinds of pins out there. Again, it's not a high maintenance platform, 1 to 5 times per week. Well, are there any tips about what time of day you should be posting? Sure, there's lots of data about this. And what's interesting here is some of the best times to post on each of these platforms, and you can see that they all don't correspond. So for example, if you decided to tackle more than one platform at a time, you can schedule things so that like you post, say for example, on Facebook on Thursday at 9 a.m. And then you also post on LinkedIn on Tuesday at 7:45 a.m. or 6 o'clock. So you can spread things out so you're not going to be too tied to your social media platforms, and you can use a scheduling tool to help you do that. And I'll talk about that in a second. Picking the best time of the day is a great place to start, but what you really want to look at is when are you getting real engagement from people who are following you to make sure that you're leveraging their best time of the day. This is a good starting point, but then again, look at your statistics for the platforms that you're on to find out when your people are most engaged, when they are online, and shoot for making sure your content goes out during that time frame. We know, I'm a small business owner, you're a small business owner, but you can't do all of this by yourself. There are some great tools out there that can help you manage this process. Social media scheduling tools such as Hootsuite, there's dozens of them out there. Some are free, some are paid. Analytics tools within each platform for company pages. Make sure if you're going to be doing this for your business that you're building it on a business page. There's usually no cost associated with a social media business page. So as you look at that, make sure you're looking at your analytics so you know what's the best time of day to reach your people, what they're responding to, what they're sharing, what they're doing with it. Content does not need to be lengthy. It needs to be relevant and good quality. If you're not a writer or a graphic designer, get someone to help you. There's tons of resources out there. Many of them are freelancers. You can work with them on a one-on-one basis. Get out there, get some help. There's also some great tools out there like Canva, Unsplash, Free Range. There's Pictures, there's Creative Commons and Vecteezy. There's all kinds of tools out there that you can use that help you to create content. But if that's not your thing, then don't do it. Find people to help you. And start small. One platform at a time and master it. If you try to tackle a bunch of these at one time, you're going to be overwhelmed. It's not going to be any fun. You're going to be spending too much time and you're going to drop it like a hot potato. So when you're thinking about starting this, think about who your buyer is. Where are they? What time of day are they on? What kind of media do they consume? And stick to it for a little while. Don't drop it in a month because things aren't going to happen in a month. Give yourself a time frame. Is it 6 months? Is it 8 months? Is it 12 months? You set your deadline. You figure out if it's working for you or not. Here's some free resources that you can use to manage your social media profiles like a pro. I talk about this on my website, of course, but there's lots of tools in that blog post that tell you how you can manage your social media profiles. But here's how it works. It starts with you. You create your content, post it online, whether it's on your website, your YouTube channel, Tumblr, Reddit, wherever you post your content. Then you add keywords and hashtags to it. You share that stuff on social media, and people share, comment, and like content that they enjoy. That is basically the process, and that's how it works. Once you figure out what your people like, you can start to create a process around this and repeat and do it and do it and do it. So those are the free tips I've got for you. Here's who I am and what I do, and oftentimes you'll hear me talk about, my dog, because he is the love of my life, and one of those things about me is when people see me at speaker conferences, that's one thing that they talk to me about. So think about that too when you're thinking about your content. What is something that people can take away, and when they meet you, talk to you about it? There you go. That's who I am. Here's who we are, Penn Heel Marketing. Social and digital marketing for CPAs, predominantly small business owners and some nonprofits. We cover a lot of different things. Hope you loved this episode, and I will share some more tips soon. Take care and have a great day.